Hi there, welcome back to True Gooner, and we've got a good hangout here discussing the back-to-back defeats to Everton and Manchester City. Been a tough week being an Arsenal fan. As you saw on my reviews, I've not been a happy man, but I have calmed down. If you've seen the videos, then thank you for your support. If you haven't, go and check it out. So now it's time to talk to some Gooners. So we've got Kenny Ken back with us. How are you doing, Kenny Ken?
I'm very happy. Like I said, I'm very downbeat, but I still believe that this squad is the best squad that we've had for 10 years. So, question for all of us on the panel: why did it go? Why is it going so wrong?
We'll come to that in a second. And Ruben, welcome back. We've missed you.
Hi, Seb.
And welcome back to Stephen. We've missed you as well. I've not had you for a while.
How you doing? How you doing, guys? All right?
Yeah, good, thank you. So, Kenny Ken, as you just made, why do you think it went wrong the last two games? What do you think happened? Is it mentality? Or has it just gone pear-shaped?
I think what it is, right, are two things, right? One was definitely the mentality in terms of we definitely have the numbers and the quality of squad, but what we don't have still is the ability and the mental attitude to prepare for adversity, especially when teams are raising their game against us. And I mean raising their games against us, trying to stop us from playing, playing a referee, you know what I mean? Like the niggly side, the cute stuff, something like McCarthy is doing, like putting his shoulder in, leaving his foot in, just a little bit, making the referees make a decision. Because I think what it is in these big games, referees want to be part of the game. They want to sort of let the game flow. So in these sort of 6-pointers, tackles are going to fly in, and Arsenal not sort of prepared for it. Another thing as well, what I think went wrong as well, was in terms of preparation. We put our eggs in one basket in terms of qualifying for the Europa League, the last 6 innings and winning the group, which was fantastic. But in terms of the games coming thick and fast, I'm not sure his ideal preparation, because I think in the second half against Everton and definitely against Man City, we looked like, undercooked physically in terms of what was required of football. Because what was happening is that in the second half against Everton, Barkley was getting a lot of space, because I think what was happening was Gay was winning the midfield. He was putting his foot in. He was allowing Barkley to play. And a lot of times when Barkley wasn't having any pressure on him. Now, I don't think that's a physical thing, but in order to beat teams like Everton, you have to press the presser, which means get past their press and get that back four. I don't think we had the appetite or the energy to do that against Everton, and that's why Barkley was very pivotal towards them getting back in the game and setting up. And at City again, what went wrong was when we were on top, we were not creating chances. We weren't 1-0 up. You always thought, you know what, if we had that second or third goal, we wouldn't give the opposition something to work with. Because, for instance, if we go 2 or 3-0 up against Man City, then Guardiola's got a massive job. He's got to make major changes. In the second half, he made one change. He had sagginess, sort of positional sense, and a bit more pace to get our left-hand side, which has always been a conundrum for us. So in terms of that, that's where we're failing, is that Guardiola made a brilliant substitution, i.e. bringing pace down the right-hand side and getting Sterling more in the game. And most importantly, Man City were physically better than us. Now, whether that's down to a manager's lack of preparation or could be down to the player's attitude. Unfortunately for Arsenal, twice in 2 days, our talisman and creative force, Mesut Ozil, wasn't at the races, I'm afraid.
No.
And I'm sorry to say this, I know I'm a massive critic of him, but when you look at an important player to basically create something, get in the game, if he can't get in the game, then we've got a massive problem. And I think that's where Man City and Everton were stronger than us, is that in the second half, physically, they were better than us. They pressed us all over the field. And basically, they won the midfield battle in both games, and that's why they won the game, deservedly so.
Yeah, definitely in the end as well. The second half, we just looked completely lost. Stephen, we'll come to you. So Kenny Kent obviously said that in the second half we've lost it in the midfield battle. What's your views on those two games? Why have we just fallen short?
Kenny mentioned it quite a lot, really. I mean, obviously we ran out of steam in the second half. We couldn't adapt to the way City had changed their game. See, we were on top first half, first 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We got kind of doing all right. We were pressing the ball. They changed their style slightly, made a couple of changes. You know, and that tends to be what happens. We can't adapt to other teams. When other teams change their tactics, carry on playing the same way, getting the ball to Ozil. Ozil was lost. He was walking about the pitch. Quite a few people have mentioned, you know, chasing his tail off, you know, trying to press the ball. But you could see when he was turning around, there's nobody supporting him. We had no attempts in the second half. We never looked like we were going to score. And the Everton game was pretty much the same. You know, Everton bullied us. They sussed us out. It was their game. They bullied us. You know, again, Everton first 20 minutes, they sat back. We had all the ball. We pressed them. And then once they got themselves sorted out, we weren't in it. You know, they bullied us. They scored. They could have had others. You know, that's us all over recently. You know, we've had games recently where we've nicked it in the last minute or so, and we didn't get lucky in the last minute. You know, even the Everton game, we had two cleared off the line plus a penalty. You know, it's just not good enough. You want to challenge for the league. You know, all the other teams in the top six over the last 2 weekends have gained 6 points on us.
No.
I don't think any of them lost.
I know that's what really frustrates me even more.
United won both their games.
Yeah.
So all the teams we had 6 or 7 points, that's gone. You know, we lose against West Brom, which is unthinkable. But, you know, they've turned us over before.
Well, last season they did.
It's going to be a long 6 months or a long 5 months into the season if we lose against West Brom, I'll tell you that. But, you know, knowing Arsenal, they'll certainly win 5.
Yeah, hopefully. Ruben, so what are your thoughts on those two back-to-back defeats? Where did you think it went wrong?
Well, Kenny and Stephen have put it perfectly there. I think the mentality of the performances they just weren't up to scratch for title contenders. It's just not what a title contender needs to do. Losing 2 games back to back, you know, for any team in the Premier League is just horrendous. But for a team challenging for the title it's unthinkable. Losing 2 games in 2 games that we, on paper, in the form that we're in, should really be winning. The Man City, the first 10-15 minutes against Man City, we were awesome. We did boss Man City there. We got Theo Walcott got the goal in the 5th minute. It was a nice goal, nice, well worked, great ball in from Sanchez. But it was just from there. It kind of went downhill. It's not really. We don't really know where to really point the finger there, whether it's at the management or whether it's the lack of effort that the players are actually putting in. But something's gone wrong in the club. I think it could be due to the management. It could be with, as Kenny said, with the Champions League. We were putting all our eggs in one basket. Their fitness levels have gone down, and you know, Christmas is a bit busy time in Premier League. You get a lot of the other major leagues sitting home, you know, with their families watching the Premier League whilst the Premier League are actually playing. So putting all of our best players trying to qualify, trying to get into the last 16 of the Champions League was a big risk because of the amount of games that we actually have this December and coming into the new year. But at the minute, it's not actually worked out for us. We've lost 2 games in a row. Everton, you know, we should have lost, but towards the end, Iwobi could have got that goal, made it 2-2 at the end. But again, that's not enough. Like, we've done that against Burnley so far this year, and a couple other teams as well. And title contenders nicking draws in the last minutes of the game just isn't good enough. Yeah, we should be getting 3 points against teams like this, getting all 3 points, and because if you're challenging for the title, Chelsea are running away with it now at the top of the league, and we're now starting to fall behind because of these 2 games that we've lost. It's just, it's not been a good December for us. It's just been horrific.
Yeah. Well, it started off with a bang because we obviously got the massive win at West Ham and got the massive win at Basel, then got a win against Stoke. So we have 3 wins before this dip. Yeah, Kenny Kim will just come back to you on this. Now, obviously, as we know, both the games were lost in the second half. What do you think that's down to? Do you think that's down to what you said at half time? Do you think it's down to the mentality? What do you think it is? Lost both those games in the second half. And I wouldn't mind, but the second half we've been dominated.
Well, for you, first thing you got to do is look at the Everton game. You look at the Everton game, right? What it was, right, is that we were on top. Everton were getting back into it because, as I said before, Gay was winning the midfield. He was like I said, he was making his tackles. He was basically bringing people to the game. Obviously, alongside McCarthy, he was aiding and abetting him, and that enabled Bartley came in the game. But what happened against Everton is that you've changed Kuma's team talk. If Everton go 1-0, go 1-1 up in the 1-1 in the break, then we've got a problem because what's happening now is that they're in the ascendancy now. We're the ones who are thinking, oh, how did this happen? We're the ones who are going in with our mindset's changed, and that's what's happened. So Everton in the second half, they're the ones with the most energy. We struggled to, like I said, get back in the game because what was happening now is that it was a case of Everton were thinking, right, do we hold on or do we put all our eggs in one basket and actually go for Arsenal? And what was happening was Barkley was getting in the game. He was getting room down that right-hand side. We were struggling to hold him off. And what was happening is that Everton had set piece after set piece. We didn't learn from the first goal. Phil Walcott, everyone says Phil Walcott, in my opinion, made 2 mistakes for that first goal. What he did is that he gave himself 2. No, it's not even that. If he was about maybe 5 yards further than where he should have been. If he's within 5 or 10 yards, right, and he gets to Baines and he's close to Baines can't turn him. Baines can't turn him because all Baines could do is go down left side and Phil Walcott blocks it. And if he tries to turn on his right foot, Phil Walcott doesn't get across him. But if Phil Walcott is coming from about 15 yards and he's coming at pace to try and get goals, then Baines is the angle now because he's got pace. Baines is in control. And what Baines do is his body shape enables him to, if you see someone come at pace, say you're a rugby player, Ruben, you're a rugby player, or Steve, you're a rugby player, at pace, right, from a long way round, what you're going to do is you're going to dodge. You're going to do the body swerve, you know what I mean? Like Serge Blanco, when he played rugby and everything. You do the body swerve because you're in control, aren't you? So Phil Walcott's coming from a distance. He's in control now. Lane Baines hasn't got the pace, but he could swerve it now because Walcott's coming in with pace from a distance and create a distance. And then he has a free cross. And that's where Walcott went wrong, was giving himself too much to do to cross that play. And I think in the second half as well, the set piece, Gabriel was taken out of position because what was happening now is that what Koeman did well is that he basically said, right, Valencia, you want Koscielny and isolate Koscielny away from Gabriel. So what Gabriel's going to do now is that they take Gabriel onto the right-hand side and they create a gap between Gabriel and Koscielny. So what was happening is that we were under a lot of pressure. We had set piece after set piece. And finally, when you keep on with the set pieces, we creak. And what's happening is that players not doing their jobs. Koscielny's at fault. Ozil's turn away from the ball and said, please don't hurt me. They get a goal. And then we try to come back into it. Another thing that went wrong as well is that we bring Giroud into the game as a plan B, but we don't play plan B football. As Steve said before, why bring Giroud on if you're not putting crosses in to get him back in the game? you're still playing the same way. You're still trying to probe. You're not being direct. You're not hitting it long. You're not trying to get players to run off him. You're not getting the ball and putting crosses in. What's the point of having it on? Man City second half, same sort of thing. Man City basically thought, right, we're the fresher side. We're going to earn the right to play, because everyone talks about Guardiola, about how he likes to play football. What Guardiola does is he pressed and he won the ball back. When Arsenal had the ball, they won the ball back, like he did with Barcelona and Bayern Munich. So what's happened again is that they're on the ascendancy. They're knocking on the door. They got a goal that was offside, but they kept on knocking on that door and kept on going on that right-hand side. Their goal. De Bruyne sprays the ball down that problem left-hand side, down the right. Iwobi's not tracking. Sterlington's now running at Monreal 1-on-1. Gets the ball in, shot goes in. Now, a lot of people blame Petr Cech on his near post. I love Petr Cech, but the evidence is there. On the near post, he's very weak.
Yeah,
he may have been unsighted. We saw that against Crystal Palace. We've seen it quite a few times. So obviously that's a bit of conundrum for us. But one of the things that really done me as well is the same thing. You bring on Giroud, but you don't play Plan B football. You bring him as a Plan B, but you don't get down the wings and put crosses in for him. Maybe if you don't have the energy, but you're not playing to the guy's strengths. You've taken off, like I said, you bring in the Ox on, gets injured. You bring in El Neni, but El Neni is a defensive midfielder who's basically
I know. I was really annoyed about that.
So again,
made no sense.
So Arsene Wenger's caught in a conundrum. But what Arsene Wenger's main problems is, if you and Giroud play Plan B football, a Plan B system, and a Plan B approach. Also, you've got to be physically better than that. You can't have a situation where you're inviting pressure and pressure and pressure, and you're not picking up people's runs. Matt, why did Everton, when they played us, have a spare man? Seems to have a spare man in midfield, because players are not doing their jobs. People are walking.
Passengers.
Ozil's walking. So Sanchez has got two jobs for him.
Then you've got a situation where when you had Mustafi and Shelby playing central, Arsenal were playing further up the pitch. They seem to be playing. If you look at the last few games when Gabriel's been playing, they seem to be sitting further back. And I think when Mustafi's playing, because he's got more pace, he's got more awareness, they just naturally play further up the pitch and compress the play. We pressed the ball a lot better. We just sat back. It was almost like, come on, have a go, let you score. Because we're not going to do anything. We're just letting you have the ball. And in the end, they score. I mean, 3 headers in the box, Everton, and it's, Sterling, you've got, he never scores, Sterling. But you don't want to put him on his left-hand side, do you? What does Monreal do? He shows him down the left, and he cuts inside on the left and scores with his left. Push him on the right, he's got nowhere to go.
But if you seen this save scenario, sorry. Hello?
Yeah.
But if you see the save scenario, right? If you look at Baines, right? Baines, Phil Walcott is coming from a position where he's yards away from the guy's trying to mark. So what's happened is that if he's charging in, the body swerve, because he's got time, can dodge and get a free cross. The same thing, De Bruyne's done that volley pass. Monreal has got no protection from Iwobi, so he's having to come out of position to go and meet Iwobi, which means Sterling. So it means Sterling's always the one in control. He's got the space now because a defender who's got no protection has now got to come out of position, i.e. helping out his centre-halves, and he's got to go towards a player who's quicker than him. So he's going there. He's already on the back foot. So he's gone down the line. He's now, because Sterling's in control of the ball, he cuts in now. He still cuts in. No, because players are trying to keep out of position to try and block the shot. Because Shoney's trying to, and Gabriel trying to block the shot now. Check's unsighted. That's a goal. Again, it's just this is indiscipline. You can't have one-on-ones.
It's basic defending tactics, though, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Isn't it, really?
Yeah.
They're not getting the basics right.
Exactly. You see Chelsea, whenever Chelsea, right? Whenever Chelsea have a situation, right, where positionally players are leaving themselves too much to do. And I think with the first goal at Everton, at Goldison Park, Walcott's left himself too much to do in terms of like his position, and so he's made himself. He's enabled Baines to have plan A and plan B and creating a space. The same with Sterling. Monreal has left himself too much to do. He's had no protection. Sterling is the boss of that situation. And the first goal for Man City, the same sort of thing. It was offside, but who's pressing Silva? Why Silva got that space?
I mean, you got to accept though that these teams will score goals. I mean, all the top teams can score against anybody. So the problem is, if we're only ever going to score one goal, we're never going to win a game because
not at all.
12 games we've gone now without conceding. Since we've kept a clean sheet.
Yeah.
So if we're not going to score 1, 2, or 3 goals, we're never going to win a game because we can't keep a clean sheet, and the top teams can always score. Everton are unbeaten at home, so that was always going to be a tough game.
Definitely, they're a good side. They're a good quality side.
I mean, bear in mind, City got 4-1 by Leicester the previous week. Sorry,
Steve, can I just say something to you and Ruben? Sorry, cut in.
Yeah.
Have you noticed, right? You know that thing, Ruben and Steve. You know that thing we're talking about is about the physical. How big games take a lot out of you. Did you notice Everton when they played yesterday against Liverpool? Like in the second half, Liverpool were the ones with the legs, and Everton were leggy. Like Liverpool were forcing the pace.
Yeah.
They were winning the second ball because they had more energy, and maybe Everton trying to win the game against us took a lot of energy out of them. You know what I mean? I think
they played before us. They got beat the game before us, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does just show that it is the physical side and the fatigue that the players go through. It does really affect how they play, and it's just in the Premier League how there are so many games consecutively. It's just a bit. I think it's a bit not unfair on the players, but it doesn't give the games a proper chance to have a full go at it, because in the second half, a team that is tired, more tired than the other team, then they're bound to lose the game. So,
of course, Chelsea aren't playing any European football, are they?
No, so
exactly.
That's also going to help them. Yeah. Well, we've got Claude joining us. How are you?
Hello, Claude.
Right.
Hey, Claude.
Hello, mate. My connection's really bad. I'm trying to get through.
Join the club.
We can hear you, though. We can hear you.
Yeah. How are you all?
All good.
Yeah, good. Thanks.
Yeah, all good. Just about recovering from the 2 disasters.
I think Ruben's just Ruben, without thinking it, agrees with me about having a midweek break. He's just called for one. He doesn't.
After Christmas.
Yeah.
I think we should be having a.
Take them on tour somewhere, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're not playing high intensity games though, Steve. And that's the thing.
Thailand, wouldn't it? Or something like that,
I think midwinter break is a must really, because I think when you get all these games over Christmas, you're not getting quality, you're just getting quantity.
Yeah. 100%.
And the trouble is, you're getting mixed performances. Mind you, we're not even reached Christmas and we've seen the team.
Munich, they got a 2-week break, and they before they play us, Champions League first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're cut straight off their break, didn't they?
What tends to happen is that, as I say, you're getting 2 games in 2 days. I think it's ridiculous, actually. I mean, they're human beings. They're just, they're not robots. You can't expect 2 great games from a team in the space of 2 days. It's just a nonsense. I think we should scrap it.
Yeah.
Well, you hear Jurgen Klopp saying in interviews that how all the other top European sides actually have breaks, and they end up actually watching the Premier League football sitting at home, recovering from their games, having a break at Christmas, while the Premier League players are going out playing 2 games in 2 days, which is absolutely ridiculous.
I think all the Premier League games are much more competitive than the other domestic games.
Yeah.
No, especially when you're playing 2 good teams away from home, it's always going to be tough.
Yeah.
Anyway, Claude.
To be honest with you, I think we should scrap it. I would scrap it, and I think if you want your players really fresh and going into the Champions League as well, you've got to scrap this whole thing. I think the midwinter break is good, and I mean, what do people actually want? Do they want quality performances or do they want quantity? That's what you know what I'm saying. So.
Yeah.
TV companies, isn't it? They just want quantity. TV.
I mean, if you've got nothing else to do on Boxing Day, put all my videos on. I mean, that would be great.
Yeah.
After 9 o'clock. Yeah.
After 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Anyway,
that's very true.
Anyway, Claude, you're at both of the games against Everton and Manchester City. Obviously, 2 horror shows. What did you make of the defeats? Where do you think the games got lost? Obviously, in the second half. But what are your views on the game?
Well, it got lost with a lack of motivation from the manager to the players. That's where it's got lost, mate. It's got lost with a lack of tactical knowledge by our manager. Guardiola changed things at half time. Our manager didn't react to it. That's where it's got lost. I mean, you can go on all sorts. You can go a lot. You can say Mesut Ozil's gone missing more than what I've been going.
Yeah, but you came back though.
I wonder whether he'll come back. But we've got to run the games now. The problem is now we've got a nice run of games now where we should have comfortable victories. I mean, hopefully. But then we're going to go to Chelsea, and are we going to see the same old thing again? I mean, I just heard Jeff from Arsenal on 5 Live tonight saying, well, he's the quickest way league title by keeping him on for another 2 years will be a quicker way than getting anyone else. I mean, I've never heard so much bullshit in my life. I mean, what some of these people come out with, but I mean, we've waited 12 years, so let's wait another 2 years, shall we? Or should we wait another 4 years? Or should we wait another 6 years? Or should we wait when he's now walking down a tunnel with probably a walking stick in his hand? I mean, what do we want here?
Yeah, we want to see progression, and I think this is why fans are getting frustrated, because although we're all right, we've had a good run of results lately, apart from the last 2, is that we're finding ourselves way behind, and looks like we are seeing just the same old story of not challenging and not going anywhere. And I think
the trouble is right. A few years ago, when he was blinding success and he was brilliant, don't get me wrong, but he only had Ferguson against him. Now he's got 3 or 4 or 5 coaches that are a bit more advanced than him in tactical knowledge. I mean, that is the difference. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what do we stick with
when
him?
he first came along, he was the guy that had all the ideas, wasn't he? He came in, he changed everything. Now everybody else is changing. He's got left behind, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, tactically, everybody else seems to be able to change tactics game for game, and we just play the same way.
Yeah.
Reduce after 70 minutes, with player for player, like players, and as Kenny says, we'll bring you on, but we'll still try and play it through the middle and knock it about. You know.
I'd like to ask a question to you all. What would you think about changing manager? Do you reckon now's the right time to change manager?
At the end of the season, I think yeah.
I think.
But who would you change him with? Who would you change Arsene with?
There's 2 managers out.
The thing is, Ruben, is that over the years, everyone has asked me who's available. But if you look at Arsenal now, over replaceable managers, is like Arsene Wenger's been, since we've won the league title 12 years, Ancelotti has been at AC Milan, Chelsea, Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, and Barcelona and Bayern Munich. So those are 5 jobs. Guardiola's been at Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and Man City. Let's talk about Jose, because he's a top boss, whether you like him or not. Jose has been at Chelsea, Internazionale,
Inter Milan.
Real Madrid, Chelsea, and now he's at Man United. So over the 12 years, these managers have been available, but we still have, Arsene Wenger in a job. Now, if Arsene Wenger goes, people saying, "Oh, Jeff is wrong when he says that it's going to take 2 years." What people seem to forget, right? In the Premiership history, I'm not saying it's going to happen with Arsenal, but Mourinho, Pellegrini, Ancelotti, and it looks like, and we're not going to preempt fate, Conte have all won the league in their first season in England, which means players are responding to a different message.
Yeah.
Ancelotti changed the way Chelsea played. He played the expansive game that Abramovich wanted. Man United with a team essentially. He's given them method major. He's given them license to attack. He's built a team around Frank Lampard and Didier Drogba. They'll beat teams 8-0, 7-0 towards the end. They're unbeatable. Mourinho, 5 points. He turned, because Chelsea were like Arsenal. They were the team that had the weak mentality. They were the team that basically were the nearly men. He's turned those players into winners. Pellegrini at Man City. People slag on Pellegrini, but in his first season, he won the title.
Yeah, he did.
And even though Liverpool and Arsenal handed it to him, he won the title. Conte, we battered Chelsea, right? But he's gone and changed everything. He's basically done a lobotomy on that side. He's got rid of he's got rid of players who are no good to him. He's reinvigorated Moses' career. He's found a road for Moses. He's basically got Hazard playing again, and he's basically built a defence around David Luiz. Now, I'm not saying I hope they don't win the league. I hope we win it, but it can be done, can it?
Yeah.
The top managers are capable of making changes to their team tactics.
Hello,
Claude.
Yeah, go on then. Go on, Claude.
I also think, is the relationship between the players and the manager with the fans, is it completely gone? Because I looked at the other night. As you said, there was only 3 players that come over. And surely, and he goes straight down the tunnel. Wouldn't it be nice that he could get hold of these players and tell them to go, and with him as well, and applaud the away fans?
Yeah, I know. You see Klopp doing that. Klopp does that.
Yeah.
Does Wenger really, really care about the fans?
Yeah,
Honest,
that's a good question.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about Wenger, isn't it? It's my way. I know what I'm doing. Nobody else knows what they're doing. I'm doing what I'm doing, and nobody else can lump it. And I don't think he really, really deep down really cares what the fans think, say, do.
No.
Not really.
No.
I might be wrong, but that's the impression I get.
Yeah. So, what other managers would you be happy to replace Arsene Wenger? I've got a few. There's the Hasselhüttl, the RB Leipzig manager, and the Tuchel, the Dortmund manager.
Yeah,
There's also Diego Simeone. There's loads of managers out there. There was Guardiola a couple seasons back, but obviously we passed up on the chance of getting him. So what managers would you guys want to actually come in and replace Arsene?
I'll let the panel go first. I've got my idea, but I want to see if we agree.
I've gone either Diego Simeone or Thomas Tuchel. Well, with Simeone, obviously, he is a winner, and we won La Liga ahead of both Barcelona and Real Madrid, which is absolutely incredible. It's nearly as incredible what Leicester have done, because there's not many teams have done that. And you've got
I forgot. Sorry, I forgot one thing. Sorry to disturb you. Claudio Ranieri won the title at Leicester in his first season. That's another one.
Oh yeah. Right, going back to
Chelsea.
Right, going back to Diego Simeone, and also as well as that Liga title.
If you go with Simeone, you'll end up with a totally different brand of football, won't you?
Yeah, but don't
the way we play.
Yeah, but Stephen, don't you also think that's what we could do? Don't you think we do need to change our style of football a little bit? Because everyone knows how we play. So
after 20 years of playing the same style of football, a change Yeah, I've obviously not been on the planet long enough to see. I've only been in the Arsene Wenger era, and I've seen for the whole of my life supporting Arsenal, it's been the same style of football. And if a new manager comes in and changes the style of football, but we end up winning titles, you know, I'd take winning titles over playing.
The George Graham era, it was 1-0, and that was it. You know, we didn't concede goals. We had a proper defence that defended, strong midfield, and we nicked results, but we never conceded goals.
No, we didn't.
But even Arsene Wenger's team. Yeah, but the thing is, Arsene Wenger's teams did it. Remember towards the end in '98? Remember the 1-0 at Old Trafford, nicked the result.
Yeah.
Derby at home, 1-0.
Yeah.
There was
well, back in the day, but not now, because he hasn't got a track record of signing decent defenders for a start.
No, he's only bought Koscielny, Sol Campbell, and Kolo Toure. I think they're the three best defenders he signed. And hopefully Mustafi, but the rest.
Yeah.
But if you go with like the Stepanovs and Yuznis and Skilaccis and
God.
Senderos, De Giroud, I mean, you players come from. You sign them.
Yeah. The Ryo Miachis and all these players that we should be signing big. We're Arsenal Football Club. We shouldn't be signing Squillaci. You know, players like Nicholas Bentner and Yaya Sanogo. We're Arsenal Football Club. We should be signing world-class players.
Well-known left-back Santos. I mean, he was amazing, wasn't he? That Santos.
He was
everyone's favourite. Andre Santos, everyone's favourite.
Yeah. I think that is going to be Arsene's exit path. Is that people are going to forget because Arsene Wenger's been in the job so long. He's got 12 years without a title. And it's self-inflicted. People are going to think 12 years. And they're going to look at the plays he's bought towards the end. And he hasn't really bought very well. I realised that Sol Campbell came on a free.
It's like a boxer who won too many fights, isn't it? You know, you're a great heavyweight champion and they've won too many fights or too many fights, get knocked out, and everyone just forgets unbeaten or whatever, you know. And he's doing the same. He's just ruining his team.
But he deserves to feel he deserves the criticism coming his way because what's happened is that you get people like Sir Alex at Man United. The reason why Sir Alex never went out of fashion is because he evolved. He brought coaches in. He brought players like Carlos Queiroz. He brought who's that Raymond fan who went on men's friends. He basically brought young coaches in who basically advices. He took advice from younger players, and what's happening is he was still able to motivate players and make it fashionable. And Man United was still competing because he took advice, because he knew full well that football moved on.
Yeah,
and one thing. But if you notice that, and I know another thing people don't notice, whenever if you watch an opposition football match, right, you'll see Roberto. You'll see all the managers of the Premier League, right? You'll see like sometimes you'll see Jose Mourinho, sometimes you'll see like you see the Belgian manager. He's the manager of Everton. What's his name? He's been manager of Everton. He's manager. No, he's manager of Belgium now.
Oh, Martinez.
Yeah, you'll see players like Martinez. You see all these managers. David Moyes at games. I've never once seen Arsene Wenger watching an opposition play in Europe, abroad, and especially in England. I've never seen Arsene Wenger in the crowd watching a game. Now,
because he doesn't have to, does he?
In the 20 years,
he knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
Yeah. Now, and I don't understand that because every opposition coach will be watching a game and watching the opposition taking notes. Why isn't Arsene Wenger doing this? I don't understand why. I've never seen Arsene Wenger in all the years I watched football do that.
So his ego won't let him, will it? Because his vision is that he's right, everybody else is wrong. End of. And you could have all the pundits in the world telling you should play with so-and-so players or play a certain way, but he'll just stick to the same formation, same players. He'll take Iwobi off, bring Chamberlain. Why not leave Iwobi on, bring Chamberlain off, and take off Ozil? You know, why not do something different and actually mix up the formation?
Yeah.
Play a two up front. You know, put Alexis and Walker up front and put Chamberlain on the right Rather than just keep taking the same players off.
Well, Arsene Wenger's just stubborn, isn't he? That's just the way he is. He knows his substitutions he's going to make every game. He knows his formation. He's not going to adapt with the situation of the game and
definitely. And the worst thing about it is that we know this, and the opposition certainly know this. You know what I mean? And I think that's. Sorry, Steve.
No, I was going to say. I mean, as I said earlier, we can go 1-0 up, but what they'll do is they'll change their tactics to adapt that. We just carry on.
Yeah,
we could be winning 2-0, and we'll still be going for the third in the last 10 minutes. But all we need to be doing is seeing out the game.
yeah.
I think that's the problem. You've got to ask yourself a question. What about the role of Steve Bowles? Now you got a player that was probably been one of their best defenders, part of a strong defensive system we've ever had at Arsenal. Yet we don't see a role. We don't notice a role for him in the side. I don't understand what he does. So I'm not criticising him, but you would think with someone like Steve Bowles, he'll have some sort of influence. I mean, without trying to be funny, right? Brian Kidd, right, at Man City, right? I still see Brian Kidd standing up and pointing.
Yeah.
The only time he was Mancini never used to let him do it, but all the other managers, Brian Kidd has some sort of a role. I don't see what Steve Bowles is allowed to do. I mean, Steve Bowles, surely he should be working and training with the defenders and doing defensive drilling. Surely.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
I'd like to think so, but
you should be teaching them how to stop a cross, because that's what he's done.
Yeah. Again, it's probably down to Arsene's stubborn ways of him saying that I'm the manager here. You're here just to kind of direct me, and you've got no role, especially on a match day. But obviously, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. But that's just the assumptions that we can make.
I think with Arsene Wenger, the way he plays, right, it'd be beautiful and brilliant if we won leagues, titles, won European Cups playing that way. Because in an ideal world, playing that beautiful football that we play, in terms of football injustice, it'll be justice if we play one football playing that way, because that is pleasing the way, and basically that throws out every coaching manual out there. You know what I mean? Playing the attacking way, playing great decision passes, but it doesn't work like that in football.
Well, you look at Portugal won the Euros. Were they the best team that played football in the Euros?
No, they won it based on their defence.
Yeah,
It wasn't on Ronaldo, it was based on their defence.
And they won a trophy. But their actual attractive style of football was Italy. They were the attractive teams. But, it's about winning trophies, isn't it? At the end of the day, we don't care at the end of the season if we play beautiful football.
Yeah,
won the league. That's all that matters.
Yeah, you would take it, wouldn't you?
Trophy, isn't it?
I think what it is, right, is that you've got to I think what it is that people fall. I think what's happened, people fell in love. The reason why Arsenal get criticised is because people could see that we're not too far from being a fantastic that can dominate the league and also do well in Europe. But the same things always seem to happen. Like I said, lackadaisical whenever we're in defensive situations. Not as well. Like you lose the second ball. You lose the first ball, and you don't win the second ball. Set pieces.
We
stop
win the
it.
ball back in defence and give it straight back again, don't we? The amount of times we win the ball. And what is it with Czech? How many times he put the ball into touch? I lost count against City.
Yeah.
Virtually every kick went into touch.
Yeah. Well, you see, again, he. But the thing about it, most of it went into touch. But he was like he had the most passes of all their players.
Yeah, I know. When I'm seeing that on the TV, I'm like, what's all that about?
Yeah, it just shows that. Yeah, it just shows that how horrendous we've been in these past couple games, and how really the season we need to kind of switch on now. We need to realise the situation that we're actually in at the moment. And there needs to be something that switches in the players, that from now on we need to make sure that we're blitzing our games and making sure we're beating and winning the games that we should be getting 3 points at, and really challenging against the top teams.
Yeah,
I think Ruben and Steve, I think the thing we've got to realise that has to make use of his squad now. Because I think what it is, right, is that don't just use the FA Cup. Fine tune it a bit. You've got to play it like Perez to get in the team, and we know now.
Yeah.
We know now physically, if the players are not fit enough, i.e. mentally fit enough in the second half, then obviously he's going to have to try and tune it. I'm not saying make wholesale changes, but make use of your squad.
Yeah.
And rotate. You're going to have to rotate whether you like it or not. Don't just think, because it's the FA Cup, I'll change my squad. You've got to do it in league games as well. I'm not saying...
Absolutely. Especially if your formula's not working, then you obviously have to change.
Yeah, this is in the past, like, probably I'd say decade, this is like almost one of the strongest sides that we've had in years and years, and the most squad depth that we've had. And really this season, we've not really seen good use of that squad depth. We've seen it a bit in the Champions League and a bit in some of the cups, but we've not really, like, Perez scoring a hat-trick in the League Cup. He can easily get into the Premier League if Sanchez needs a break. Perez can get in against a team like maybe West Brom, and he'd do the job, and he'd be a brilliant striker. And we've got players like that can play in the positions that we got big players that need a bit of a rest. We have the players to facilitate that, not only in the FA Cup, that we actually do have the players to, as you say, Kenny Ken, to facilitate them in the Premier League.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it'd be worth giving Gibbs a little run now at left back. I think press him on Real.
Yeah, definitely.
I wouldn't be too against giving Holding a run instead of Gabriel.
Apparently, yesterday I saw he was rumoured to be going out on loan in January. Yeah, I heard that yesterday.
I think the thing is, right.
Mertesacker's coming back, isn't he? So he's probably thinking, well, he's not going to get a game, so it's just a joke.
See, the thing is, you mentioned Mertesacker, and I know, like, it's like, I know he hasn't got pace. I do know he ain't got pace. I respect all your views on that. I get it, but in terms of organisation and leadership,
he's brilliant.
You can't discount his experience. I'm not saying his experience. I'm not saying that we wouldn't have lost these games he played, but an experienced head. You know what I mean? And I think you look at Koscielny, he's a fantastic player. He's a good centre half. He's not the best centre half of the current. He's up there with the best, but he's not quite the best because he is fallible. But he hasn't got leadership qualities. There were times against Everton.
Not vocal enough.
Everton, Gabriel. When Gabriel was struggling, I
don't think Mertesacker wins enough in the air for me in the box.
Not at all. And I think
he jumps so often in the box. That's incredible.
I think. See that I agree with you on that, and I think, but sometimes it's just a presence, just sort of think, talking. And I think, like, if you look at Gabriel, you're struggling against Lukaku on last Tuesday, and I just wanted Koscielny to just talk to him.
Yeah.
Get close to you.
Koscielny is brilliant when he's got an experienced player next to him, like Mustafi, Mertesacker. He's quality, but obviously, as Kenny said there, the leadership qualities from Koscielny lacks, and putting him with someone like Gabriel, who also doesn't have the leadership qualities. You've got no leadership there in the back line, which isn't great. You've got Petr Cech in behind, but you really need that centre half like Mustafi, like Mertesacker, that really can shout with the defence. They can call and they can organise the defence, and I think that's what's been going wrong. As soon as we've lost Mustafi, the games have started to fall apart, and there's no coincidence in that. It is 100% because we've lost Mustafi at the back.
Yeah, lost that.
But
Gabriel, he doesn't play enough games. He's been playing played really well at right back. Funny enough, he's had a couple of really good games at right back.
Yeah, he did.
But then he goes in the middle again, and he doesn't play enough.
No,
I think that's a bit. I think if you notice one thing, right, we talk about leadership, right, and one of the things is that if you don't have leaders like we do, then it has to come from the manager, because. You may not agree with me, right? Liverpool don't have many leaders, right?
No,
Klopp.
Yeah.
But from Klopp, he transmits that. And you look at Chelsea as well. Without John Terry, I don't see a leader at Chelsea, but I see Conte.
Yeah.
He's basically kicking every ball. If you notice, right,
sits down. I've never seen.
He never sits down. You know what's happened, right? He gets the crowd going. He goes, come on, jumps in with the crowd, and he basically transfers he's like the 12th man. He's like the 12th man. Not the crowd, not the 12th man. He's the 12th man. And the same men, 12th men for their managers.
Yeah.
I don't think Arsene Wenger's the 12th man.
No.
So you don't have to have teams of leaders if you manage as a 12th man. And Klopp and Conte are the 12th man.
Yeah, and I think
Man United, they got leaders in the side. They got leaders like Ibrahimovic is a leader. You know what I mean? Rooney's a leader, and Pogba could be a leader. They're not playing well, but you can see the leaders. Mourinho doesn't have to be the leader. Klopp,
surely as a professional footballer, you'd look at Sanchez, the way he plays, and you'd think, I want to do that. But they don't. You know, he's trying to chase the ball down, and he turns around and he's the only one there. You know, the other players are sort of hanging back, and he's shouting at them, "Come on!" Like, they can't be.
Yeah, I do feel sorry for Sanchez a lot of the time, where he's the only one actually working. He's up there chasing down the ball up front, and he's got no support from the other midfielders. From the midfielders behind him, their work rate in the past 2 games have been absolutely appalling. They've been walking all over the shop, and Sanchez, you know, my heart does go out to him a lot of these games because he's chasing the ball down, he's going across the back line, and he's really trying to put some spirit into the squad, but it just doesn't work.
No one else is doing anything.
Yeah,
the thing with him is that he needs to stay on his feet. He goes diving in. I'm like, stay on your feet.
Have you noticed something for him as well? Physically, he's very short. Physically, he's been short in the intensity of the matches. Like at home, Xhaka's fantastic, but when there's intensity, and the opposition is putting on him in an intensity, like pressing him, making runs, aggressive runs, in order to, you know, take us a game like he's found wanting physically, and maybe, just maybe, Arsene Wenger's got a point on why he wasn't playing him enough. And it's a very unpopular what I'm going to say, but there's times says that actually, in away from home, we shouldn't be playing Xhaka, that we should actually be playing a man with El Neni. The reason why I'm trying to say that in terms of El Neni is that El Neni gives us that sort of thing, sort of discipline. I know you're saying, right, you know, don't play with 2 defensive midfielders here and here, but in terms of his positioning for a midfielder, positionally he's actually better than Coquelin, and he's actually better than Xhaka, and he is what he is in the tin. He's a water carrier. He'll give the ball to someone better. He'll make the runs to try and make himself available from the edge of the box. He's not as good as it, but he's got physical, tactical discipline. Now, Flamini tried basically. He's a scatterbrain. He got in a way in all the times, but you can see what he was trying to do. What Anelni's trying to do, but Anelni does it better. And I think that's the thing with Xhaka, is that we know what he can do, but is he really, really up to it physically for the intensity of what's required in this league? And at the moment, I think he's found him warning. What is his first season? He needs to get better.
I think the first season in Premier League for any player outside is difficult to get to the pace of the game. So I think they're all used to having plenty of time on the ball, spraying it about. Premier League teams don't let you do that. You know, you get the Stokes and the West Broms, they'll be all over you, and you won't have the time to play like that. I think he's one of those sort of players that seems to make time. He's got that way about him. I just think the way he sort of glides around the pitch and he sort of just keeps it simple. And you've got Coquelin is sitting there. I mean, he seems to like one of the first names on the team sheet now, Coquelin. He's always going to play.
Yeah.
And his performances have been fantastic.
He's been great this season,
30 million, you'd be thought that was cheap.
Yeah, definitely. I think with Coquelin as well is that if you noticed that at Chelsea, right, Kante has Matic with him. So although Kante is like the alpha and omega, Matic is there as well to help him. At Arsenal, we seem to just have Coquelin, and he has to do 2 or 3 people's jobs, and that's why at times I do like Elneny with him. I respect the fact that people think he's too defensive, but sometimes when the opposition when we don't have the ball, You do need that extra body.
Definitely.
Because you don't want Ozil to come deep. Yeah.
I think Elneny is one of those players that he's very disciplined. He's probably been sent on the pitch with instructions, and he carries them out. He's not a Ramsey that doesn't want to play the position you put him in. He wants to be on the right wing, left wing, centre forward, and shoot. Whereas Elneny actually does what he's told to do, which is sit in the middle of the park, get the ball, knock it to somebody else, and that's what he does. Perfect. Simple.
I think that's one of the things, is that obviously we're looking too far ahead, but if I was to drop someone in a big games away from home like Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, you know, and Bayern Munich in the first leg, I would probably drop Xhaka and play Elneny in those games alongside Coquelin.
Physicality.
Nothing personal against Xhaka, but I seriously do not want. I worry about our midfield getting overloaded with the fact that he's not up to the pace.
You've got to use your squad. As said, you've got to use the players.
And I think
definitely.
Well, it's horses, and I do think
that's tactical.
Yeah, and I think Arsene Wenger has to make use of what he's got. Elneny has to be. He's got to find a way to get Elneny into some of these big games. Yeah. It's like remember in the big games, right, where Man United played. Darren Fletcher played in those games. Remember?
Yeah, they looked.
Yeah,
I remember that.
And the reason why he played Darren Fletcher's job was to protect the back four, help out his midfielder, and basically give them nothing. Remember Park as well, the South Korean. Remember all the big games Man United played in Europe? He played in those games as well because Alex Ferguson wanted him to maraud the left-hand side or even the right-hand side, but he was basically to stay there, protect his fullback, and that was his job. Nothing more, nothing less. And I think Elneny is one of those players that Arsene Wenger really needs to use in certain games.
Yeah, he's disciplined. He's got good discipline. And you put him into it, and he'll play it. And at the end of the day, if Cazorla was fit, he'd be playing, wouldn't he? And he'd have a different conversation about who's going to play in midfield.
Well, he's a massive miss, isn't he? He's a massive. I think people.
You're just trying to slot players in his position, aren't you? None of them quite are up to it.
Well, I think but basically the thing about it is he's one of those players that's two-footed players. You know what I mean? He can take corners and free kicks with both feet. And what happens is now is that even when he's tightly marked, you give him the ball because he's.
We lost him.
I was lost him. Oh, we're back.
Is he back? He's doing a mannequin challenge.
Oh, what happened now? Well, I'll just come back.
Oh yeah, I thought we froze.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Continue.
You're back. We lost you.
We lost you for one moment. Yeah, carry on. What you said.
Yeah. So basically, what's happened in terms of like Sanchez, Sanchez and Ozil, very important players for Arsenal, excellent players, but you've got to have. But Santi is our brain on their side, and you can't legislate for how important it is and how difficult he's going to be to replace, because I don't know many two-footed players in midfield who basically get to take the play. I don't know any in world football other than Santi Cazorla.
I think Isco has the ability. That's why I think.
Can he play with 2 feet?
Yeah, he can actually. He can actually. I've actually seen him play, and he's actually a really talented player. He doesn't quite play in the same role as Santi Cazorla has. He plays more in the Mesut Ozil role, but I personally think he could do a good job with us, and he can play wide on either flank. So,
see, that's the thing. You notice that Santi Cazorla is that he's actually Wenger's actually. That's one thing I commend Wenger for, is that he's found a position, Santi Cazorla's best position. Because when Cazorla first came to us, he's playing the right hand side, left hand side.
Yeah, he's playing wide.
And then last season, he went angled. He became our playmaker. You know what I mean? Yeah, not Ozil. He was our playmaker, and I think when he went off injured, you think, oh God, Santi.
Well, it's deja vu, isn't it? Because same thing's
Yeah, same thing's happened again. We won't see him until like February, March. Yeah.
The problem we've got in terms of Ozil, right,
is that it's sad that Jack Wilshere's gone out on a season-long loan and not half a season because he'd be back in January.
Well, you know one thing. I blame Jack Wilshere for that. I generally believe that Jack Wilshere put England before Arsenal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
his whole motif of going out on loan was to get into the England squad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Arsenal weren't coming first for him, and I think we could have done with Jack Wilshere. But again, in an ideal world, the question we're all going to ask the panel: how many games would Jack Wilshere play? Because the injury primarily played for us. He's got in run a game at Bournemouth. I don't know.
Yeah.
You just don't know with Jack. You know what I mean?
He's had a I'm from Bournemouth, and all my mates that support Bournemouth are saying that he's been playing absolutely brilliant. Although, statistic-wise, it doesn't actually show it because he's apparently been. While I've been watching a lot of the football, he's been creating assists of assists. So he's been making those final passes that actually lead to the goals. So he's actually been a really, really big playmaker for them, and he's not picked up an injury in the time that he's been at Bournemouth for almost half a season now. And whether you can actually now start to shift the blame maybe to Arsenal's training regime on why the amount of players that we get injured. But yeah, he's been playing really, really well at Bournemouth, and I think he would be playing a lot of games if he wouldn't have been injured by the games that we've actually played. I think he would definitely be playing in there with Coquelin, playing in that holding role with Coquelin, instead of El Nene or instead of Xhaka. And I think he'd be playing quality this season if he was still fit. But as I say, there's not much we can do about it now. He's on that season-long loan. Why we didn't put in that in the contract, we didn't put a clause to call him back, like a callback clause. Why we didn't put that in, it amazes me. But yeah, he's been playing really well, and I think he would have fit in really nicely into this Arsenal side this season. But it is what it is.
Well, one player we haven't even talked about is Ramsey, because again, we're critical with him. But the thing with Ramsey though is that he played his first game against Man United from injury, out of position, and I think with Ramsey is that another player we're going to need him. We're going to need the odds. I know he gets heavily criticised, but he's one that can be rotated. Arsene Wenger's massive problem is trying to fit him into the side because we can't have him in midfield because he's so position about play.
What would you say is Ramsey's best position?
Definitely in that box. In that box.
Yeah,
I think that is
box to box.
That wide position, the right mid position that Arsene Wenger plays him in is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why Arsene Wenger thinks it's a good idea to put him on the right flank because in the Premier League nowadays you need that pace on the wings. We've got the Oxlade-Chamberlains, we've got the Iwobis, we've got the Walcotts that play on those wings. They're dashing up and down, whipping those balls in, and then you've got someone like Aaron Ramsey who fits perfectly for the box-to-box role, but seems to get shipped over to the right-hand side where he's just. I think he's no use on the right-hand side.
If you see how Man United play with Pogba, you notice that Pogba's got more freedom now because he's got Herrera and thing. And Pogba is playing that box-spot role. I think Aaron Ramsey, that's his role. A lot of people say he can play the Ozil role. No way. No way. He can't. I actually think he could play left-hand side if he has no defensive responsibilities, and Sanchez gets him in terms of like hold that play and plays those little pockets.
Yeah,
I think that's where
we formation. You've got to change. You can have two midfield players plus Ramsey.
It's hard. It's really hard. I think he's got too many players, but I think with Arsene Wenger's a massive fan of Aaron Ramsey because Aaron Ramsey gives him legs in midfield. It gives him the end have been missing. In big midfield, and Arsene Wenger always fits.
Could you put Ozil on the left-hand side then and put Ramsey in the Ozil position, like a number 10, just behind?
Well, Ozil plays there for West Germany. He plays and he gives it. Because I think what's happened is that Joachim Löw gives him a free role where Ozil starts to the left, but he comes on he interchanges on the right hand side. Then he plays the pivot, and sometimes he ends up on the sort of in the Ozil role. But in terms of like the way Arsenal is playing him now, Ozil's actually not playing the position that he was playing last season because of Alexis Sanchez. What Arsene Wenger's done with Ozil, where Ozil has improved, is that Ozil's now playing like a forward to the extent that Alexis Sanchez is creating space for Ozil to get into goal scoring positions. Yeah. You only have to look at his goals against Swansea, the hat trick, and a goal. A lot of that is because of the space for Alexis Sanchez. So Ozil doesn't play in the Ozil position. The Ozil position doesn't exist no more. It's a different. Basically, he's basically not even got a free role. He's basically supplementing Sanchez. You know, and I think that's where Arsene Wenger wants to play him. I think that's where Sanchez is waiting gold. But the payback is that Sanchez has got to do Ozil's running for him because he wants Ozil to do that in the last third, which is if Ozil's scoring goals and he's performing away from home, we don't have this conversation about him not doing nothing. Seriously. But if he's not doing what he's not doing, then we're going to look at things like, you know, holding his face and making sure he doesn't get hurt against Everton, the walking around. That's going to be an issue there. Yeah. And he becomes a luxury player.
And I think that's the problem with Ramsey is that he's trying to squeeze him into various positions and none of them are actually quite right for him. I mean, a good light, isn't it? He hasn't got the discipline to play where he's put, I don't think. He wants to play in the middle, doesn't he? So wherever you put him on the pitch, he wants to play in the middle.
Well, I think he ends up. Yeah, if he was like, yeah, well,
he rarely plays a forward pass.
No, he doesn't. He's never that player. I think what he wants to be like. He wanted to be the new Fabregas, isn't it? He was like the Welsh Fabregas, wasn't he? Yeah. And then he's going to be like the Welsh Xavi, but the Welsh Xavi is now is Joe Allen.
Yeah, Welsh Perlo. You mean?
But he had that golden 6 months, didn't he? He had that golden period where everything was flying in off the foot, wasn't it? You know, brilliant. And then he got a couple of injuries. He's never been the same player since, apart from when he played for Wales. You know, he was like a world-class player. Then he come back for us, and then he got injured straight away, didn't he? Within the game, his hamstring went.
Well,
he was out for 6 weeks.
Again, that's the thing. Poor game management, poor like injury management. But in terms of Wales, he has Joe Allen does his running for him.
Yeah,
and
he has a free role, doesn't he?
Free role, yeah. And then what's happening? He can support Gareth Bale, but again, Arsene Wenger knows his players better than us. He's had more experience than us. But
absolutely.
But you know, my argument with Arsene Wenger is that, regardless of whether he knows me, I'm not seeing evidence of the fact that he's making use of the options he has in midfield and across the side. I'm not seeing evidence of that.
No.
He's got too many midfield players and he doesn't know which is his best midfield, really, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure listening to you all. I think we're going to wrap it up there. But just before I go, I'm going to ask each one of you one question. And I'm going to each ask one of you the same question. I'll start with you, Stephen. Is that the league gone, or is there still a long way to go and Arsenal can rectify it? What do you think?
I think it's a very competitive league. It's not over yet. If we go on a run.
Yeah. Ruben, what do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree with Stephen there. It's we are 9 points behind Chelsea, but I think it is a competitive league. We go on a run of form. We're up there. We're back up there again. I think we can still do it.
Yeah. And how about you, Kelly Ken?
Well, I've say that we've got the best squad we've had for years, and I still stand by that. And as I agree with the panel, we're playing a very competitive league. We are going to require snookers, but we're going to have to go back to basics, and we have to go one game at a time. Don't look further ahead. It's all about wins now. We have to win football matches. Yeah. And we are looking for snookers. Because it's the Premier League, and it's not La Liga or the Bundesliga or La Ligue in France, you'll find a lot of snookers. There will be snookers.
Definitely.
Chelsea have got to go to Anfield. They've got to go to Old Trafford, and they've got to go White Hart Lane on the 4th of January. Now that's one of our snookers. But we can have all these snookers, but we've got to pot the blacks. You know what I mean? Like, we've got to pot the blacks, make sure that we don't have any, that make sure that whenever there's snookers appears, we're taking care of it. If we're not putting the blacks, then we're out of title race before we know it. Serious.
Yeah.
Well, you've heard it from the guys, and
we're masters of not walking through doors when doors are open for us, aren't we?
Yeah.
We don't win games when we should have won a game. We don't win that game.
Yeah.
But we still got a chance.
And one thing we shouldn't do, we should not forget the referees. Don't referees can influence a game as long as you like, but they're probably only making decisions in probably about a minute, 3 or 4 minutes. What happens to the other 87 minutes? What are we doing then?
Exactly. But I've said this for a long time. If you've got enough quality in your squad, the rest becomes a small part of the game. But if you haven't got enough quality in the squad, then a ref can influence the game. I've said that for ages.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, guys. So you've heard it here from them, and let me know what you think in the comments below. And also, thanks to you for watching, and thanks, guys, for that hangout. You enjoyed it tonight? It was
really good. Thanks, Seb.
Very good.
Very good, interesting discussion. Do you enjoy it, Ken?
I've enjoyed being it. Ruben, it's lovely to meet you. Steve, as usual, I've enjoyed things. I like to do more before you. Seb, whenever I've got some time, you know where I am.
Yeah. All right. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll be speaking to you very soon. And come on, you Reds.
Come on, you.